Configuring a network bond by using nmcli. To configure a network bond on the command line, use the nmcli utility. Prerequisites: two or more physical or virtual network devices are installed on the server. The host runs on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.4 or later. So it runs on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.4 or later. This version introduced the port type controller connection.autoconnect-ports options used in this procedure. Port type controller or connection.autoconnect-ports options used in this procedure. Port type controller connection.autoconnect-ports options. Previous RHL versions instead use slave type master and connection.autoconnect-slaves. Port type controller connection.autoconnect-ports. To use Ethernet devices as ports of the bond. Ports of the bond means slaves of the bond. Ports of the bond. The physical or virtual Ethernet devices must be installed on the server. To use Steam, Bridge or VLAN devices as ports of the bond, you can either create these devices while you create the bond, or you can create them in advance as described in one of these. nmcli connection at type is bond, connection name is bond 0, IF name is bond 0, bond dot options in double quote mode is equal to active backup. Create a bond interface, nmcli connection at type is bond, connection name is bond 0, interface name is bond 0, bond dot options mode is equal to active backup. nmcli connection add type is bond, the connection name is bond 0, IF name is bond 0, bond dot options mode is equal to active backup. Bond 0 successfully added. This command creates a bond named bond 0 that uses the active backup mode. To additionally set a media independent interface MIA monitoring interval, add the MIA MON is equal to interval option to the bond dot options property. For example, nmcli connection add type is bond, connection name is bond 0, interface name is bond 0, bond dot options mode is equal to active backup. MIA MON is equal to 1000. So it says there is another connection with the name bond 0. Reference the connection by its UUID. Connection bond 0 successfully added. Display the network interfaces and note names of interfaces you plan to add. So there is bridge 0, bridge 1. nmcli device status. So bond 0 is already available. Bond 0 is added actually. So I need to create two devices, bridges. In this example, ENP7A0 and ENP8A0 are not configured. To use these devices as ports, add connection profiles in the next step. Bridge 0 and Bridge 1 have existing connection profiles. Reuse these devices as ports, modify their profiles in the next step. Assign interfaces to the bond. Here the interfaces you want to assign to the bond are not configured. Create new connection profiles for them. So assign interfaces to the bond. nmcli connection at type is Ethernet, port type is bond, connection name is bond 0, port 1, interface name is ENP7A0, ENP8A0, controller is bond 0. So connection bond 0 port 1 successfully added. Connection bond 0 port 2 successfully added. These commands create profiles for ENS 160 and ENS 224. You can see the history here. ENS 224 and ENS 160. To assign an existing connection profile to the bond, set the controller parameter of these connections to bond 0. nmcli connection modifier bridge 0 controller is bond 0. Okay, to assign an existing connection profile to the bond, I don't have bridge 0 and bridge 1. If it is available, then modify the controller as bond 0, modify controller as bond 0, and reactivate the connection. nmcli connection of bridge 0, nmcli connection of bridge 1. If you configure the IPv4 settings, if you plan to use the bond device as a port to other devices, enter nmcli connection modify bond 0 IPv4 method is disabled. To use DHCP, no action is required. To use a static IPv4 address network mask default gateway DNS server to the bond 0 connection. Enter these details. nmcli modify connection modify bond 0 IPv4 address IPv4.gateway IPv4.dns IPv4.dns. You can search example.com IPv4.method is manual. So nmcli connection modify bond 0 IPv4.addresses 192.168.220.30 IPv4.192.168.220.2 IPv4.dns 192.168.220.2 IPv4.dns. If such example of IPv4.method is manual. So nmcli connection should looks like this. If you plan to use this bond device as a port to other devices, enter. To use stateless auto configuration, no action is required. To set a static IPv4 address, network mask, default gateway DNS server to bond 0 connection, enter these things. If you want to set any parameter on the bond ports, use the following command now. nmcli connection of bond 0. nmcli connection of bond 0. Bond 0 is active. nmcli device. To bond 0 connected. It says connected. Bond 0 is connected. When you activate any port of the connection, Network Manager also activates the bond, but not the other ports of it. You can configure the Red Hat Enterprise Networks enables all ports automatically in the bond is enabled. Enable the connection.auto connect ports parameter of the bonds connection. nmcli connection modify bond 0 connection.auto connect ports is space 1. nmcli connection show bond 0. You can see this is the IP address which we gave in the last step has been assigned to bond 0182.168.220.30. Mode is active and backup MIA MON is equal to 1000. nmcli connection of bond 0 again. Connection successfully activated. Verification. Temporarily remove the network cable from one of the network devices and check if the other device in the bond is handling the traffic. Note that there is no method to properly test link failure events using software utilities. Tools that deactivate connections such as nmcli show only the bonding driver's ability to handle port configuration changes and not actual link failures. Display the status of the bond. cat/proc/net/bonding/bond 0. See, this is the information on bond 0. Slave interface ENS 160. Slave interface ENS 224. Permanent hardware address is also available here for ENS 160 and 160 224. Bonding mode is active-backup. Currently active slave is ENS 160. MIA status is up. Full duplex mode. Speed is 1000 Mbps. 10,000 Mbps. Speed is 10,000 Mbps. Full duplex mode.